Hey lady, got the love I need. Maybe more than enough. Oh darling, 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 walk a while with me. Oh, we've got so much, so much, so much. Time's been bitten, many times I've gazed on the open road. Many times I've lied, many times I've listened, many times I've wondered. Here's a rough outline of the sections of the song that will be presented in this video. First we'll start with the opening, and 4 different variations of chords and lead lines that happen in that section. Then we'll talk about the verses, with the chords and riffs being played, and then transitions into the instrumental section and into the ending that come from the verses. Then we'll talk about the instrumental section, the rhythm that's played, and lead line that's played in that section, and then we'll talk about the ending of the song. Hey lady, got the love I need. Maybe more than enough. Oh darling, 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 walk a while with me. Oh, you got so much, so much, so much. Time's been bitten, many times I've gazed on the open road. Many times I've lied, many times I've listened, many times I've wondered how much there is to know. Many dreams many men can see the open road. Many is the word, only leaves you guessing about a thing you really ought to know. You really ought to know. I really ought to know. Here are chord charts for chords that are needed for the opening part of the song before the electric guitar kicks in. So the chord shapes are pretty basic, and some of them are going to slide up into different shapes, like that B flat 6 down in the lower left. You're going to slide up 2 frets to make another C chord. And the A sus4 and the G over to the right are going to transition into the next part of the song. Let's look at these chords on the guitar. So there's a G, a D, C9, C add 9 actually. Walk that bass note down, and then eventually you get to this B flat 6, which you're going to slide up, so the shape will stay the same. You just slide it up. And then you have this other part where it goes, so that's where that D on the 5th comes in. And then you have an A suspended 4th down here. I'm just calling it that because you're basically hitting an open D bass note and sliding it down to a G right here. And those are going to be the chords that transition into the verse section. The opening riff is played by manipulating a D chord. It starts off with this. So what that is hammer on and pull off of the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 4th fret of the 4th string to open 4th string, and then landing on a G. And the G shape has that 2nd string note on the 3rd fret, the D note. And then you're basically keeping that ring finger planted, hitting that hammer on and pull off again on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret. After that 4th fret note on the 4th string, now you're hitting open 3rd string, and now you're going to pull off on the 3rd string before you hit your D. So 4th fret of the 3rd string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open 3rd string, and then D, open D string, 4th string, and then strumming the D chord. So once again, it sounds like this. And that's the most basic way to play the opening riff. When the song opens, it's okay to do the hammer-ons and pull-offs without having that D chord or that ring finger planted. So you can start it off like this. And then once you get established in that G chord, then it's okay to go back to keeping that ring finger planted. The first variation on the opening riff occurs after a D chord. It sounds like this. So that little line is G on the 6th string, open 5th string, bar the 2nd fret of the 4th and 5th strings. So you're going to play 2nd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, 5th string, and then open, hammer on, and pull off on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then back to a G chord. So once again, it sounds like this. The next variation occurs after you go to a D chord. It sounds like this. Before you bring it back to the riff again. So what's happening there is you go down to that C add 9 chord, and you drop that bass note down to a B, keep that ring finger in the same position. You're just strumming the 4 inside notes. And then you go to that B flat 6. So it's basically like a B flat bar chord, except you're leaving the G open, the 3rd string open. And then you're sliding up to that on the 3rd fret now, and it becomes a C chord when you do that. And you can let the E ring open and the G ring open still, because this is the same note right here, and the 2 G's are right there. They're the same note, so you can let those ring open before you bring it back. The next variation that occurs also takes place after you go to a D. It sounds like this. So what's happening there is you go to a D, down to that C add 9 again, hit the B note, and then you're hitting twice on the G, open A, hammer on the 2nd fret and pull off, and then your 2nd fret on the D and then pull off. So it's one time again that sounds like. And then when you go to that D chord, you're adding a suspended 4th there by adding your pinky note to the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So once again, it sounds like this. One more time. The final variation in the opening section comes on the line "more than enough." It sounds like this. Maybe more than enough. Oh, darling, darling. So what's happening there is I'm landing on this little mini B minor shape, you can call it, and it's basically 2nd string 3rd fret and 3rd string 4th fret, and then I'm hammering on to the 5th fret of those strings, 2nd and 3rd string, sliding those 2 notes up to the 7th fret, and then completing the D chord up here on the 5th fret. So once again, it sounds like this. Maybe more than enough. The final 2 chords of the opening section before the electric guitar kicks in are up here. They're little D shapes on the 9th fret and the 7th fret. And I'm letting the D string ring open. And you get to them right after that riff down here. So it goes. So if you notice there, what I'm doing is playing a little bass line with my thumb. So typically the thumb is used to mute that 6th string. Okay, and when you get down here to the G, you can use it to play that B note on the 7th fret. and then strike an open A. So it sounds like this. You play that 3 times and then you go, and before you get into the verse section. And then we'll talk about that next. Here are chord charts for the chords that appear in the verse section up until we get into the instrumental section of the song. So the verse section includes the G, D, and A, which is the guitar riff that's played. And the G5, D5, and E5, the power chords, are kind of transitions that bring you into the instrumental part. And then continued from the beginning in the background, you're going to have overdubbed with the guitar riff, those 2 chords playing in the background, the A sus4 and the G down in the lower right. Let's look at these chords on the guitar that appear in the verse section. There's the G, D, A, played like that. So that's that riff that goes, it's basically those chords, and then these chords continue from the beginning because they're playing in back of the line that goes. And then also we're going to have some power chords to transition to the next part. So that's basically G, D, A, and E. That's going to bring us into the next section. Let's talk about some of the details of the verse part now. So this is probably the coolest part of the song in the verse section, that riff that goes. So what's happening there is it's G to D, D to A. So it's, and those changes happen fast. So it's literally down, up, and on that upstroke you're playing the D, and then it's down, up again, and up is A. So it's okay, and then you're playing G, A, and then when you get to that A, you're going to be playing that note right there. So 4th fret of the 4th string. So once again, the riff sounds like this. You go to, and that is, you're starting off on an A here, up to the B, up to the D, back to the B, up to the E, and then sliding down, and then the second time around goes, so that time you're up to the B, D, down to the B, up to the D again on the 5th string, and then down to that B. So it sounds like when that riff is playing, you can also do this in the background. So they're playing simultaneously. So if you're going to play this alone, you take your pick of what you want to play when you're playing this song. So you can do a verse like this, for example. Many times I've loved, many times been bitter, many times I've gazed along the open road. Or you can do it like this. Many times I've loved, many times been bitter, many times I've I've gazed along the open road. Okay, how we transition out of the verses and into the instrumental part is by some power chords that go. So it's not after the line, I live for my dream in a pocket full of gold. It sounds like this. I live for my dream in a pocket full of gold. So what's happening there is after this riff, it's like a half riff. So it's when you go back down to that B, you automatically go up to that G up on the 10th, D on the 5th, and then it's D, A, E. So once again it goes. And that happens twice. Actually, it happens 3 times because there's a lead line that I'm about to show you that happens that you can play. Rather than just play that rhythm, you can play this lead line that's coming up next. There's a lead line you can opt to play that happens right before the instrumental part. It sounds like this. Before that part starts. I'll play this lead line slowly so you can see what's going on. So the only difference in the 2 lines is how it ends. So the first part goes, the first line ends up here on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and when you do it again, it comes around and ends on this. So you're playing that same shape basically up a string on the 3rd and 4th strings. At the end of the verses, there's a special riff that's played that helps transition into the ending of the song. So it sounds like this. Guessing by the thing you really ought to know, I really ought to know. So what's happening there is it's a double strike on the bass note of the G, open 5th string to 2nd fret, open 4th string to 2nd fret, open 4th string, 2nd fret 5th string, open 5th string, and then you play a D chord, and then you play that same pattern and then go to a G. So it's and that part fades away and you're brought back into the ending of the song, which is very similar to the opening of the song. The rhythm for the instrumental section sounds like this. So what's going on there is it's a part that happens up here on the 11th fret. I'm basically playing the 3rd and 4th strings, going down to the 9th fret, and that's how each section starts. Now the first time it goes, so it's basically 2nd and 3rd strings, okay, on the 4th fret, down to the 2nd fret, up to the 4th fret, down to the 2nd fret, up to the 4th fret, sliding up to the 6th fret, down to the 4th again, 2nd fret, and then you're playing 3rd and 4th strings on the 4th fret. And that's the first go around. The second time it goes So it's, again, second and third strings on the 4th fret, down to the 2nd fret, up to the 4th and down to the 2nd again, and then you're playing on the 4th fret, 3rd and 4th strings, 2nd and 3rd strings on the 2nd fret, and then 1st and 2nd strings on the 2nd fret. So it's and then we go to the climb. The climb that happens is based off of an F sharp scale. So you're playing 1, 3, 5, and 7, and then it repeats. And then finally hits that top F sharp note. So the notes that you're playing are F sharp, which is 2nd fret of the 6th string, 1st fret of the 5th string, 4th fret of the 5th string, and then you're playing the E on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So you're playing, and then you're going up to this F sharp here. So this F sharp on the 9th fret, you're playing the same exact pattern. And then you get to this F sharp up here on the 11th fret of the 3rd string. And because of the shift in the guitar, if you know how it's tuned, you know that the fingering is going to change a little bit. So instead of playing the 3rd right now is below that string, so it's on the 2nd string of the 11th fret. And then you're up here on the 14th fret of the 2nd string, up to the E here, 12th fret, 1st string. And then you finally end it with. So once again, that whole climb sounds like this. So if you notice here, I'm hitting like a triple hit. And then back into. You're going to bring it back to the verses after that climb. There's another lead line you can throw in this F sharp section. It sounds like this. So let me play that line slowly so you can see what's happening. And then basically into that climb. Ending of the song is a much softer version of the opening of the song. Sounds like this. The only difference between the opening and the ending of the song is how you arpeggiate those final chords. And then you can end with that G chord. So you're coming from the 2nd string, 10th fret, and the 3rd string, 11th fret, and going up to the 12th fret of the 2nd and 3rd strings.